Hello everyone, I'm Niels Verlander. I don't know why I pronounce my name differently when I say it in English. Okay, anyways, yeah, I will take you through this process video of my Yuan-Ti painting. So, as you can first see, I did a few thumbnails pretty quick, just to get the basic composition pose correct. And once I was done with that and had sent it over to the client, I took a few reference photos of my dad actually. You won't, however, be able to see them because they are locked away in a hidden safe somewhere. Or just on my phone, so if you ever meet me in person, perhaps you'll get to see them among the other reference photos that I have shot. So at this stage in the painting, I go on to refine the basic anatomy and, well, the details that would actually take place in the final image. Oh, yeah, and now working on the spear. So it was a very specific type of spear that the client wanted me to do. The thing with this painting is that it's nice to have artistic liberties, but it takes a lot more time to design everything. So when you have a lot of references, it can be a lot easier. Now we're making the clipping mask. My tip for you is to either go in and use a fill tool when you've made an outline with just a basic brush, 100% opacity that is, and then use the bucket. That will make it a lot more easier to fill in the backgrounds and such. You won't paint over anything at least. So now I'm trying my first attempt at doing the colors, but realizing that it won't work, I try to fix it with a few adjustments later. Pretty horseshit. So I tried to desaturate everything and made it more uniform, more greenish and yellow. Now we're beginning with the lighting setup. Adding a bit of a hue to the background, not just pure gray. Art 101 tip, focus on values rather than colors, because a painting can hold itself up 100% better than if you are only using colors. Focus on values because the piece will still hold up and look awesome and rad if you have those. But if you are only using colors and not focusing on the values, it would be like eating like the icing but without the cake. Also, yeah, I missed part of recording the process. So you missed when I changed up the head, because it didn't work, as you can see if you play back the video. And also I added a lighter spot behind his head. That was basically just because I wanted to add more of a focal point. Because now we have the spear and the limbs aiming the view up towards his head. But since the light was more upon his chest rather than his head, we need to add a bit more contrast upon the head. And now I tried to add more light to the head, and it didn't quite work, so I removed that. Okay, I'm just refining the shapes and the edges. also, yeah, now I'm adding in the textures, because painting textures by hand is really time consuming. And once you're working on the commission, it can really eat up a lot of time. So trying to be as effective as possible is always a good idea. At least in my case. Yeah, if you have any questions or such, you can feel free to ask them in the comments or on Instagram. My last video got like 170 views, I think, which is pretty ballish, I know. Also, do you like this format, doing a voiceover? I was planning on doing, what's that called? With a video of my face, but I was unable to figure out some sort of good setup for that. And I'm having a bit of a cold at the moment, so my voice is a bit more rough than usual, I think. Well, I guess the ones who know me can judge for themselves. Yeah, and now I'm adding in more of the metal bits, and painting the metal parts, well, at least in the same sort of metal parts at the same time, will be a lot easier, because then we'll have a uniform value and colors. I think I'm soon going to begin with a... Oh yeah, right, adding in a bit more interest to the ground. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, so I added a duplicate of the spear before, just in order to be able to paint it easier, because now when we have a selection, we can add in values and colors much easier than if it were more sniskan. I don't know what that's in English, but yeah, have fun figuring that Swedish word out. When it's at an angle, anyway. It's a lot easier to paint it vertically. Yeah, now we begin with the light effect. And it's always quite difficult to understand to figure out exactly how much of the glow you want to be reflected upon the rest of the piece. It has to make an impact, but it can't be overwhelming, because you still need to maintain the focal point, which is the head in this case. Yeah, okay, so the video is coming to an end, but I hope you enjoy the rest of it. And if you have any feedback on this type of format, feel free to leave them down below. And I'll talk to you later, and enjoy the rest of the video. Goodbye.